Hey everybody, this is the Cheshire Cast. I am your host, Corey, along with my pride and joy. Yes.
We're out of sync.
Yes. Well, it's the Zoom thing. Sitting in front of each other is so much better, but we're still quarantining. We're still physical distancing. I just won't do the social distancing thing because it just feels so
It
wrong.
makes you itch.
It does.
I don't mind it.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll see I just put my mask on. This is so everybody can recognize me around town now, because this is what I look like now.
You don't want to get harassed for.
Yeah.
Are you carrying a long gun like I see on TV now?
I'm carrying a long gun. I'm wearing
awesome.
I'm wearing an inappropriate jacket for the season.
To get your hair cut.
10-gallon hat, and I'm going to put on I'm going to shave a mohawk, which I guess would be counterintuitive if I'm going to wear a hat.
Well, you'll know it's there.
I'll know, yeah. So
you'll know.
Technically, I can say I have a mohawk now.
You could. You'd be lying. Are you going to dye it red?
Sure. You want me to dye it red? Cheshire.
I thought that was part of your
red and white.
Your thing. You look like a skunk.
A red? I've never seen a red and white skunk, Trisha.
Well, white stripes, skunk. If no one can see it, I can say it looks like really anything, I guess.
I guess it's true, but I've been playing around with the video editing stuff. So I'm pretty excited.
How's it going?
Because I think I've got it down, so I'll be able to actually turn all these quarantine conversation episodes we've been doing into YouTube videos.
How come you keep coming in and out of focus?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Because I'm ugly?
You're your own worst critic, I swear to God, and you're not getting any compliments out of me. Dig as you might. I'm not saying anything. You are, coming in out of focus. I feel like when you're not speaking, you're blurry. You think that's a thing?
You know what it is?
There you go.
It's probably because right here in front of me, there's no light, and the light is coming from over here, so it's just not helping my face.
Do I go blurry when I'm not speaking?
No, you don't.
You go blurry when you're not speaking.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I didn't know if that was a feature of Zoom. We're learning every show. Just asking a question. Are you all right? You okay?
Yeah.
I feel a little sensitive these days. Are you gonna cry? Don't cry.
I'm actually excited because this episode is going to definitely be fun, but not one of the super serious episodes. We've done kind of a string of episodes that were very important and very heavy and very difficult. Some may come out of order and whatnot, but we covered final arrangements. We've covered some mental health stuff. We did some Board of Ed stuff. And it's kind of good to get back into just
pizza, one of our favorite topics on the show.
And so, with pizza, we're taking a ride further down West Main Street. So we had the new pizza joint on a couple months ago now.
Have they opened yet? Just as an aside, I'm just curious.
No, and
not now. Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that offline. They're going to, but with this,
it's bad timing, then. Yeah.
So West Main Street is turning into our own little Worcester Square here in Cheshire, which is awesome.
Or village.
Yeah, and when you make good pizza, you can survive in a world of other pizza places. I've always felt that. But more than pizza is the personality that goes into the pizza, which helps a restaurant achieve even greater
staying power
or positive review, or just a place in the family of our town. So it is with
nestled on West Main too.
Yes. So I'm very excited to introduce our guest tonight, Mr. Pete Debisschop of Pop's Pizza.
Pop's Pizza.
Yes.
Guys, how you doing?
How are you, sir?
Fantastic. Cool. Quarantining like the rest of you, but still getting out there and doing what I need to do to keep the business running.
Which we'll definitely get into what that is, because I'm sure you're learning as you go.
Absolutely.
Yes.
On the job learning, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
But making it work.
Yes.
Making it work. And we'll ask you later what that means. But for now, I wanted to touch on a highlight you're hitting this week. It's huge.
Yeah, we could launch right from the start. Big 3-4, the 34th anniversary, correct?
Yeah, 34 years in business, coming up on Thursday. It's every year.
A lot of pizzas.
A lot of pizzas. Everyone always asks me that. I said, how many pizzas have you made? And then you try to figure
What
it
do you
out.
think?
I think I lose track after about 20.
20th year?
Yeah, I
The
just
20-something we make,
we make 20 or so here and there. I have no idea. It's obviously been a long time doing it, and we've made one of the jokes we use, obviously probably a lot of other pizza places use, is we've made a lot of dough over the years. Figuratively, we've made an actual lot of dough over the years.
Nice. Corey, you all right?
He wanted to show his mohawk.
I had to get that thing off my neck.
He's having a wardrobe malfunction on a radio show.
Totally was. I didn't mean to interfere. I was trying to.
I didn't bring attention to it. Our guest did. So just so we're clear, I was going to let you slide.
He said it was
You're doing some sort of wrestling over there.
Might as well make it that way. There you go.
Yeah, do it.
What's your busiest day of the week normally? Is it a Friday? That would be my guess.
Yeah, pretty much Fridays are
every Pizza Fridays. It's just it's a reward. Pizza's such a
after a
gift.
long week of work, parents don't want to cook. They just like
kids love it.
Grab a pizza on the way home, make it easy, and then they can get to happy hour, and they can. It's all good.
So I moved here recently from New York. So we've been trying all of the restaurants.
Well, I think he needs to understand that you're from New York and I'm from New Haven. So
I'm from the Bronx and he's from New Haven. So pizza's
tough.
Pizza's regional. Pizza's regional. Pizza's personal. We have talked on this show. We've probably talked pizza, I want to say at least 15 times. And we talk about stuff on the forum too. So I know people who don't live in Cheshire, who listen to our show, are familiar with us talking about the forum too. But pizza is a huge topic of conversation anywhere. I think it's people love pizza, and they'll fight you over what's good pizza.
What you just touched on, I do think it's a personal preference.
But you grew up eating.
Yeah, you can love us, and you might not like the place across the street, or you can love the place across the street, and you might not like our pizza. It's just really exactly like you said, what you grew up with. And that was one of the things when I first started, that was kind of one of my business model or ideas was, all right, let's get the kids involved early on in this thing. So if you get the kids involved, and then when they go home at night and the parents are like, hey, where are we going to get pizza? And we're like, we want to go to Pop's. So they're going to be the driving force that kind of forces their parents to maybe come to Pop's Pizza. Always been involved with all the youth sports and all that kind of stuff. And that was kind of the reasons for doing that. Yeah.
I know of you through every once in a while, probably once a week, the team moms. My son plays junior football for Cheshire.
Okay.
Every once in a while, they show up to practice with literally a stack of pies. Like 10 pies from Pop's Pizza. So the kids they always ask for Pop's Pizza. So, and it reminds them the most of their New York, pizza cravings. So I think you got that going for you as well.
Going for us. That's a good thing. That's always good to hear.
I think so.
My son lives in New York too, and he tries all the different places, and whether he's biased or not, he's always like, Dad, yours is still the best. So
no bias there. No bias.
I mean, I think my dad is the world's greatest carpenter that ever lived. So,
Aww.
It's
what's funny?
Father-son thing.
We actually my son just drove up from New York today. We met him in Fairfield, and we kept our social distance. But me and my wife, we brought him the pizza kits. We brought him dough. We brought him a couple of pizzas already made up. Brought him all the stuff from the pizza house because he was craving it, and we haven't seen him in 2 months.
How is he doing in New York?
Met him halfway. He's doing okay.
Where in New York is he?
He's in Queens.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's out by LaGuardia. That's Queens, right?
Yep.
I think,
Yes.
yeah. But he actually was real sick about a month ago, so he's pretty sure he might have come down with it himself. So he's been laying very low for a long time now.
And just out of curiosity's sake, he hasn't been sick again. I'm just curious. Okay.
No. He's still not
Okay.
really not like when we saw him. Really, we haven't seen him in a while. And today, when we did see him, he was still kind of coughing. I was like, "You're still."
That's
coughing.
what they say.
And
This
he goes,
just,
"Yeah,
just doesn't leave you.
it's been like 3 weeks, since he's since the whole thing started." So, but it was great bringing this stuff down to him, and he loves it, and he's
There's some comfort in eating pizza too. It'll make him feel better. Watch.
yeah.
It's like chicken soup.
They have a place across the street, supermarket across the street, and they sell dough there. And he'll go over and he says, it's not quite as good, but it's, it does the
I'll
job.
do in a pinch.
Well, he wants to be reminded of home. And,
Yeah.
Trisha, I'll have you know, I don't know if you knew this, but I've recently been able to eat pizza again.
How?
So
You found the special ingredients?
I did. So
Good.
Pete, what you don't know is in January, my wife and I did a dietary change. We decided to be vegan, if you will.
Oh,
Well, no, be vegan, period. Not if you will. It is vegan. That's how we're eating, right, Trisha? We're eating vegan. Not
Oh,
me,
I don't know.
you,
I
but
don't even know what that means.
Jenna.
You're eating vegetables?
We're
No,
not eating any processed food.
I don't even know
We're
what
not
it
eating
means. We'll
any
have to do
animals.
a show on that.
We're not eating fish. And I was like, man, I really miss pizza.
That's one
Now
of those things.
it ain't the same as pizza, but I found out Pop's made cauliflower crust pizza.
Right.
So I said, oh, I'm gonna have to just order that now. So when I want pizza, I've been ordering from Pop's. And
What about the cheese? You can do that?
no cheese.
That's not pizza.
I get cauliflower crust loaded with veggies. I went in there Friday night and I got a couple, and Pete came out. He's like, I'm sorry I had to cut it into 4s. We usually cut it in 8, but there's so much fat. I'm like, dude, it's fine. I'm going to eat the whole thing. You don't even have to cut it,
As delicious as that sounds, I don't know if that can hit the pizza column, Corey. I don't know.
It hits it enough.
Okay. All right. It sounds
for
delicious.
someone like himself, it hits the spot, and it
I
hits
get
the
it.
column. It's how he has to do it to get his fix.
I get it. But if you're a pizza purist, like it sounds delicious. Obviously, it sounds like an amazing grilled vegetable bread thing. But pizza, I don't know.
I've had Pops before I started eating that way. And one of the things that I loved about, I went in there with my wife, with Jen. Connor was doing the workouts next door in the gym. So we went in one day and I sat down, I ordered some pizza, and that was something I hadn't done in probably 20 years, to be honest.
Isn't that awesome to sit down and have a slice?
And it gave me this feeling of like that New Haven vibe.
Was it nostalgic?
It was a little nostalgic. It was a little fun to like just sit and have pizza. I mean, I do make treks every once in a while downtown, and I'll, if a band comes in from out of state or something and we're going to meet, I take them to Sally's or Modern or whatever. But I didn't realize how much I was missing that in Cheshire. And then I sat down, and he's got the old school napkins, and he's got the little ads on the napkin holders, the whole thing. And that's, to me,
do you have like a shaker of red pepper flakes and stuff like that, and garlic?
It felt like old school, like
there you go.
More than any of the other local spots. And
yeah, you're talking my lane. That's what me and my friends always talk about. There is all these pizza places in town, and what do you think? And I said, well, I don't really think too much about the other places. I just stay in my lane, and I do what I do, and I don't worry about other people. And that's what they do too. They stay in their lane, do what they do, and and it works for everybody. So like, don't veer from your lane. Stay in there, do what you do well, and off you go.
Well,
isn't it incredible that the ingredients, it's dough, cheese, and sauce. Isn't it incredible how varied people can take those 3 ingredients and truly indoctrinate people into your specific flair on that? And they do. They all taste different. It's spectacular. Pizza
artistes.
That's
But
right.
while I was there, I started looking around. Now, I've lived in Cheshire since 2005, and I've been involved in many different elements of Cheshire, from town politics to the fire department. And I've always heard Pop's Pizza and Pete Debisschop. I've always heard those two things from a lot of people, and I never took it upon myself, and I actually regret it a little bit, to be honest with you, of just going in and introducing myself and saying, "Hey, I've heard about all the things that you've done for the Cheshire sports. I mean, you've got a list of positives that are pretty impressive, and
Supporting the community.
I will want you to pat yourself on the back and share that list with us." But then as I'm in the restaurant, I'm starting to look around. There's some articles, and I found out that you were a legitimate pro basketball player. You were NBA, Seattle
Oh, what team?
Supersonics.
The Super.
Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And where you did you were in NBA for a year, and then you played in the leagues overseas, correct?
Yeah, I played in Spain. I played in Italy for a little while, and then I played in like the D League at NBA, the NBA D League for 2 years too. That was like Seattle sent me down to their affiliate.
Right.
It was in at that time was in Albuquerque, New Mexico 1 year, and then I played up in Worcester, Massachusetts for another year for a season.
How tall are you?
I was 6'11". I'm only like 6'9" now. I'm shrinking. It's really
6'9".
really
I have to meet you in person. That's
which
tall.
makes sense.
That's like
why
Jim
he would
Jinx
hang out
small.
with Jim, though.
He's actually, I know, he's on the same he's a tall guy, man. I was like,
It's gotta be nice.
Good.
I think he's the tallest person I know. I think Jim Jinx is the tallest person I know. Now I'm gonna have to come down to Pops.
Yeah.
I have to compare you guys.
But when you're that tall, having somebody like Jim around makes you feel like normal. Like you feel like I do at 6 feet tall.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like
that's what it feels like.
So 2 inches you lost, huh?
Yeah, it's like
It happens. It's from bending over, making all the pizzas.
Bravo. That's what my wife keeps telling me. Stand up straight. You're bending over again.
Stop slouching.
But what I also found out about you, Pete, is you weren't a lifelong basketball player. Like you started, I think, in high school. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When I went to Dodd, I got cut from the team those 2 years, and then even my freshman year in high school, I was only like 6 feet tall, and then
only
when I came back,
those 6 foot tall guys.
When I came back my sophomore year,
should have been playing volleyball instead.
I'd grown like 9 inches over the summer. I went from 6 foot to 6'9", and then after that, it was just pretty much basketball. It was like,
that's from eating all the pizza. That's a lot of growing.
I had nothing. That was way before pizza. Like I said the other day when we originally started the pizza house, my motto was when my grandfather had come to me and said, "Hey, let's start this pizza place." I said, "Pop," I said, we know how to eat pizza. We don't know how to make pizza. How the hell are we going to do this? But
34 years later.
34 years later. Right.
So you started it with your grandpa in '86.
Is that why it's called Pops? That's awesome.
Yeah, that is why it's called Pops. Yeah, we couldn't, we're at the time we were like, oh, what are we going to name it? It was actually a place called Gino's Pizza before when I took it over, and that was they were I don't know, they're so many years before me, but they got in a little trouble with the law, so they got booted out.
Oh, I can only imagine.
So the bones, so the bones of the pizza place were there, but we just needed to come in and kind of put our
get your recipes together.
Trisha and I think could spend the next half hour making mafia pizza jokes now.
I won't do it. I won't do it
either. But
out of respect to Pops, I won't do it.
That's all right.
I have to ask one question
with them when they left.
Yeah.
Do you? I'm just curious. Do you put Parmesan cheese on your pizza?
Yes.
You do. Do you put it underneath the mozzarella cheese? Like, what do you do with it?
Yeah,
I didn't grow up with Parmesan on my pizza.
Just a slight sprinkle of it, not a lot.
Huh.
Yeah.
So I think it's a Connecticut thing.
Yeah. So what are you doing Did you guys cover this when I took my headphones off? Are you doing anything special for the 34th anniversary?
Yeah, well, me and my wife have been talking about that tonight, and originally I'd come up with like this beat the clock thing where we're gonna have pizzas at cheap price and then kind of raise them up as it goes on. And I don't know, I kind of like I said no, I said I'm not gonna do that. And so on Thursday we're just gonna say happy anniversary. We're just gonna have $7 large cheese pizzas all day long. So when you come
Is
in,
that how much they were when you started?
no, actually there were 5.
Okay.
Well, we came
Inflation.
we came up with 3 plus 4 equals 7. So 34
Okay.
7.
Okay. All right.
Kind of went with
$7 pies.
that little
I
thing.
heard you make a stellar stuffed bread too. Like online, everybody talks about your stuffed breads.
Yeah, we've been doing that too for quite some time. Those are really good. Everyone thinks they're just like a holiday thing, but you can get them anytime.
I grew up with those being called either calzone or stromboli. Stuffed bread is new, but it's delicious.
They're just like the stuffed breads are more rolled with just mozzarella in them, where a calzone's got the ricotta in it, and it's sort of flopped over, so it's just a big ball of cheese in the middle. Or strombolis, I guess it's similar to strombolis too, but we like to have our own name for it, so call them stuffed bread.
They're delicious. Whatever you call them, they talk about. And then I like to dip them in a separate thing of sauce. So good.
Yeah.
Pizza.
So
I'm glad I specifically made an amazing dinner that's cooking in the oven right now because I knew we were going to be talking about pizza this whole show, and I didn't want to have these like intense food cravings. So right now I have pork braciole braising in my oven.
Wow.
I'm so excited.
Who says?
Who said what?
That it's amazing. Who's the critic?
Pork braciole? Are you kidding me? I even had pinoli nuts to put in my stuffing.
I mean, who's the critic? Is Gordon Ramsay
right
coming
now
to your house? Like, hey,
I'll just tell you right now. You can just rest assured.
I think there's so many people who are realizing, oh my God, I can actually cook. Over this
so much time.
Even I've learned how to cook some stuff.
The only problem is having all the ingredients you need because it's tough to get out because of the quarantine. Which can you explain to us a little bit?
Who will go to the store for you?
Corey, you are that friend, but I don't even know. They don't have pine nuts at Costco. That would have to be like a special trip. I'm so glad I had them. Pete, what are you guys, what are some changes you've made to accommodate the social distancing in your store?
Hey, Chris, are you out there?
I am.
Come on in here and come talk to us about this. My wife has been the one that's really, she's a nurse, so she's really helped us a lot.
Smart.
Hold on a
always
second.
Go to the wives. Always.
Nope.
See? The brains and the brawn. See how it works?
She won't come on because she says her hair is too out of control because of the quarantine.
What?
Don't be on camera with us.
No, that's okay.
Hey, get over here, Chris.
Come on.
She can talk from the side.
So
Way out here.
Right over here.
There you go.
She's a nurse. You're a nurse?
Yeah, by trade, I'm a nurse. I'm kind of in between career paths right now. So the timing was perfect to come down and give him a little support.
Okay, so you're not doing double duty then?
I am not doing double duty.
Okay.
I'm taking a break from nursing.
Well, you're not doing like career double duty, but you are always probably doing double duty. Now you're giving him health advice for the store.
I'm constantly talking to the workers about proper hand washing. Starting tomorrow, we're all going to be wearing masks. I'm going to be on them because when you wear a mask, if you touch the mask, you got to go wash your hands. If you adjust the mask, you got to go wash your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Gloves, if they touch anything with the gloves, they got to go take the gloves off, wash their hands, put new gloves on. So I'm kind of.
They've even had to train nurses again on the proper. It's so easy.
How to remove the gloves.
How to take the.
Is a thing.
It's really it's. The training can never stop because it's hard to move into that type of level of sterileness. Like everything you're doing is like preparing for surgery. It's a lot.
Been very good with coming up with pamphlets on how to do everything, and you always go through all the trainings and everything like that. But now it's like it's more than ever. It's so. I'm going to use the word exaggerated, but I'm not using it in a bad way. Like everything is so exaggerated where you have to make sure you're doing it so much more.
Sure.
And and the help has to buy into it. And, you got to make sure you're there all the time, keeping an eye on them and just making sure that everything is, is done the proper way at this point. So.
Well, if it's not, I've seen online people go to the stores and then they come back and go right to social media and they say blank store wasn't doing this.
Right.
Like, so it goes right out there to consumers, and consumers need to have this, at this point anyway, we need to have this confidence that everybody's taking it seriously.
Yeah.
So what are some accommodations aside from masks and gloves?
She left.
What are
We changed our whole, the way you come in now. There's one way in. You come up to the counter. We have plexiglass shields up, so there's really no, no contact between the customer and the workers. We can, then we have all X's on the floor to make sure that they stay 6 feet apart. We have curbside pickup.
that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's an important one now.
Go ahead.
It's really interesting with the curbside pickup, because people have gotten to the point now where they'll get the money and they'll leave it in the trunk, and then they go out and they hit the trunk opens up, you take the money, you put the food in the trunk, and you go
Absolutely.
back.
Touchless delivery, that's what you need.
Yeah,
Contactless delivery.
People are doing their part too to make it easier for us,
because you're also being exposed.
Sure, absolutely. So we'll wear gloves and masks when we go out to cars, and
Holding the door open.
just making sure that there's things that people can grab the front door with, paper towels, so they don't touch the door.
How is business doing since all of this? I mean, have you seen a decline, or are you maintaining, or? Yeah,
we used to do a really big lunch business, and that is really kind of gone way down. But the night times and the weekends are actually doing pretty well.
Good.
We're still coming out. I think, like you talked about, is gotten some good positive reviews online about the procedures that we do have in place. So people see that and or hear that.
Pizza kits.
Hear that, and they come in. And then the other thing, right from the first week, was we do pizza kits where you get the dough, the sauce, and the cheese, and you could take that home and make themselves. And I think the first week it was like an explosion. We're selling 200 a night. It's just like crazy.
I need some of the cauliflower ones if you can set me aside a couple.
Yeah, you can. That's actually been a thing that I didn't think of, but customers thought of. They call up and they say, "Hey, can we get a cauliflower pizza kit?" I'm like, I don't see why not. So
Yeah.
you give them the dough, you give them the sauce, give them the cheese, and then you take it home and do it yourself. And we had one of the customers did it the other night and sent out some really great pictures of the ones that they made, and it looked fantastic.
And it gets the kids involved. It's not only food, but we're constantly looking for stuff to occupy time, to create like a family activity of making pizza. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah. So I did a couple of videos on how to make fried dough, and that was a big one too, because people are always scared about making fried dough.
I love Zeppelins. I love them.
Where it's really pretty simple. You just
It is.
You only got to be afraid of the turkey. The fried turkey's the tough.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm afraid of is what do I do with all the oil when I'm done? I always feel so wasteful.
Yeah. You pour it back into the bottle and then you recycle.
Yeah, you can reuse. Oh, you recycle it. I was hoping you were going to say reuse it.
I wouldn't reuse it, but I would get rid of it that way. Or pour it in a coffee can. Oh, there's no such thing as coffee cans anymore. But
yeah, Keurigs, but then they would melt. And
it'd take you forever. You'd burn your fingers.
Yeah.
So I want to highlight some of, because you've got roots in town, and you genuinely, I don't think I'm going over the line if I say you genuinely love Cheshire.
Yeah.
You have been involved in a lot of the school sports. The most recent thing I know you've been involved in is with Jim Jinks with Bike Cheshire. People can get bikes from, I don't know how that is now with the COVID thing, but I know you were involved with the making bikes available.
The bike lending.
The last 2 years, yeah. That was actually really good. I was a little nervous at first about it, just for the application of it, but it was really simple. People just came in, they signed a piece of paper, give you $10, go in the back. The bikes are all ready. Take the bikes, come back, get their $10 back, and leave. It really was. It didn't take away from our daily business thing where, it took time away from what we were doing.
Right.
It was really simple. So, and
it wasn't too much clerical.
Yeah, no, it wasn't, so I mean, by the end of the summer, I mean, I got to say, maybe we would probably like maybe 1,000 people might have come through and used the bikes. It was a lot.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's that trail. We
It
have
was-
that trail here. That's awesome.
We've had calls. We had calls starting March this year where people were looking for the bikes, and I talked to Jim about it and said, "Hey, you gonna get some bikes down here?" And it was just before this whole thing, like beginning of March, and it was just before that happened. And now that it happened, we're like, we're gonna have to clean the bikes, and
Constantly.
and it's gonna be way more of a hassle than it needs to be. So I highly doubt that that's gonna happen this year. But
That's going to be tough. But tell us about some of the other things that you have been involved in. I mean, I know you strike me as a guy who's very modest and not into selling himself. But talk about some of the other parts of this town and the projects you've been involved in, because I know there's a list.
Yeah, I think I'll tell you the one that I probably enjoyed the most doing was my kids started at like Norton School, and we started doing this. We had heard about some other school somewhere doing reading. It's what's called Reading is Fun, and if the kids read so many books a month, they got to get a free slice of pizza and a soda. So I started that with Norton School, and
My son has one for every Friday.
yeah. So
So does mine.
so we've been doing that for, oh man, I don't even know how long.
Brian's 29 years old.
29. So, but we've probably been doing that for 25 years.
At least.
Yeah, and it's great to see the kids come in.
Kids will read for pizza. They will.
Yeah,
They will.
They will.
So excited when they come up to the counter with that.
They've earned it.
And they're like, I want my slice.
Hand over the slice, Pops.
So that's I mean, that's probably the one that no one really knows about or anything, but the one that I like the best. And then just sponsoring all the different teams. It's not something that I go out and look for. They just all come in, and I'm a sucker, man. I just don't say no.
Aren't they cute? They're so cute.
I'm not going to let you apply that negative connotation to you. You're not a sucker. You're a good guy. You're one of the gems that Cheshire has, and it's people like you. And we've said it before on the show. This is the reason we started doing the show, is because we want to highlight the best of Cheshire and the best of what's around us, and highlight the who are the people in your neighborhood and all the great qualities that surround them. And we've made what are we, 83 episodes in, where we've highlighted
Right.
those people and those situations, and you're one of them, Pete. I mean, honestly, what does that say?
So these are another one of those funny stories where I did something which I don't even know what I did, but I was nice to somebody some way, and then they read on the Cheshire Community Forum, so then people start chiming in and calling, saying stuff. So one of them called me a municipal treasure.
I think you are.
So this is what I had. They had this made for me for Christmas this year, was my municipal treasure. And then someone else called me the salt of the earth. So I have my little coffee mug with my little things on here. That's my family.
I believe both those statements to be true. Just based on the feedback of some of the people that I know in town have given me, and I won't give you their names, but they're very very well known folks that you and I are mutual friends with. So
I appreciate all that. And again, it's kind of when I remember getting inducted into one of the New Haven Hall of Fame a number of years ago, and they said, we're inducting you because of of what you did for basketball. And when I thought about it, and what I said in my speech was, it really wasn't what I did for basketball. It's more like what basketball did for me. And I think it's the same thing with Cheshire. It's not really, I don't think about it what I did for Cheshire. I think more about it like, look what Cheshire has done for me.
Sure.
It's provided me with a great life. They've embraced me. They say nice things about me. I don't do it for any of that. I just do it because I enjoy it, and I enjoy being part of the community, and it just, I don't know, makes me feel good.
Well, now when they get to choose, people are being very choosy with where they're spending their dollars, and now Cheshire's coming out in support of Pop's Pizza.
Yeah.
It's all cyclical. It really is.
Well, there's been there was a situation that popped up on the forum. I mean, you know, I'm one of the administrators there, so we kind of follow the story. And somebody had some complaint about something, and it didn't bode well for her at all because
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, and everybody got like
Uh,
really defensive about, you know, Pops and everything that transpired with it. And I
you know what I liked most about that one was the lady who owns Bamonte's even chimed in on that.
sure.
And was like, you know what, people, you know, it was in September, late August, September, right when you're in transition with help and stuff. And she was like, just give it some time. It'll all come back. You know, it's
Yep.
you know, just relax, you know. And I remember that. And we were doing the same thing. Remember, we were reading and it was like, oh, this is not going well for this lady at all right now.
No. And
It very rarely does.
and I get messages from both sides, and I got messages from her saying, why is everybody attacking me? And I said to her, do you are you reading the response? Do you have any idea how you came across? You know, you have to look at, I'm devil's advocate, you know, maybe something happened. I don't know, but maybe I said to her, but maybe you're the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Nobody likes to hear that.
No, nobody ever likes to hear anything negative about them. And that's, you know,
She was going to you for support, like, take my side, please.
you know, but
I don't remember reading what you guys are talking about.
I don't take sides. And Trish knows that.
He's Switzerland.
I am. I'm Switzerland. That's the tattoo I'm getting. I'm going to get Switzerland tattooed on me.
You're a socialist? That's awesome.
You know, there's always multiple sides to the story, and you know, I'm waiting for somebody to chime in and tell me what really happened, and you know,
It's just never a good idea to air these things on the forum. You keep that stuff on your own page. I don't know. The lines are blurred on the forum because there's so many people and everybody has so many opinions, and when people don't hold back and they have an opinion and it goes against what you said, it's
I just
tough.
think attacking a institution of Cheshire, you know, something that everybody has some connection to, is not going to go well for you regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we got 34 years in business, you know, so that's, you know, now you're moving on to generation 2 of families, maybe even 3 in some cases, where, you know, people are coming back to your restaurant with their kids now, you know, where their kids, you know, I grew up in Hamden, New Haven, like I said, so we would do the pizza place that's on in the middle of Hamden, not Sergio's, Sorrento's. So my parents would take me and my brother to Sorrento's, and then when we had kids, we would go over there. And well, now we live in Cheshire, so we don't anymore. But we would also, you know, do the pizza down in New Haven. We, you know, take them to Pepe's and go to Libby's afterwards. You know, it was just a tradition. And you're experiencing that now. I'm sure you're seeing people coming in, you know, in their 30s with their kids, and they're like, "This is where Dad used to go," you know. And that's
we do these birthday parties that, you know, where the kids make their own pizzas, and I've been doing those for years. And I've seen it where, you know, you have like this 5-year-old kid, you know, 30 years ago, and now they're all grown up, and now their kids are like, oh, we're gonna have my kid's birthday party there too. It's like, oh man, I'm getting old. I'm like, holy cow, I've been here a long time.
yeah.
Just 34 years is a long time in business, let alone in the same business in the same spot. That's huge.
Yeah. You know, we work hard at it, you know, and always
It's a testament to who you are, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think that played big into, like, at the beginning when I first started. It was, you know, I mean, from all that I went through, and you know, I was a basketball player in high school, star basketball player in college, you know, come home and start this business, you know, so everyone already knew me, kind of thing, and it was, that obviously helped a lot, you know. And then you sort of just
only in the beginning. The
Yeah.
rest is on the way your pizza tastes.
And yeah, right. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, if you made a crappy pizza.
Yeah, you wouldn't be there. Exactly.
People aren't kind to bad pizza, and people say
No.
there's no such thing as bad pizza. There totally is such a thing as bad pizza.
There is. But
There is.
are you worried about the addition of other pizza restaurants on West Main Street? I personally think it's a good thing because I've seen what happened on Worcester Street and you know the competition there, and it just draws people down.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Like I talked about earlier, I think, you know, we're just going to stay in our lane and do what we do.
Yeah.
And, you know, do our thing. And, you know, they're going to have to find their lane, you know. To tell you the truth, I think there might be some lanes that are running out in Cheshire. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, there's only so much pizza people can eat, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I don't, you know. We'll see what happens when they open and how they do.
Well, the customer wins, not always the business owner, but the customer definitely wins with competition between pizza places.
Yeah.
Because you just have to up your game, or you know, you just.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's true.
I like the whole idea of like West Main Street being like we talked about, like, you know, Worcester Square or something like that. I think it still has a ways to go. You know,
I heard Ball and Sockets building's fully painted now.
They've been doing a nice job there. It looks really nice, but still, you know, that's a long ways away. So, you know, once
We have a long way to go with Ball and Sockets still.
Yeah. So,
We got some cool stuff happening though.
Yeah, it looks great. You know, it'd be nice to.
I'm all excited. I'm on the board now.
Oh, are you? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they've been. It's amazing the transformation that they've done there so far. Really, you know, I was a little skeptical about the whole thing. I was like, wow, they're gonna try to rebuild this place. I mean, you know,
I think a lot of people are skeptical.
Yeah, I mean, my grandfather, you know, he owned the building where we were. He was Pop Strollo, so he owned that, and you know, we were there when it was.
Wait, you're related to the Strollos?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. My mom's a Strollo.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what that means.
I do.
One of those long-time Cheshire families that's been around for a really, really long time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like probably close to the beginning of Cheshire.
Yeah.
It's Strollo's is a multi-generational family, similar in like the Bowmans. There's just a lot of them.
So you know, we'll see what happens with all that growth, and hopefully it'll. I don't know. Again, there needs to be something else down there. It needs to be like a little shopping plaza or somewhere for people to walk around. You know?
Yes.
Similar to like Sulington's downtown area. You know, that's a really.
Well, Pete, if you want to partner up with me, I'll go halves with you on the old furniture barn. We can do something there.
I love that building.
Some investment partners.
That would be so cool. You could put like one of those flea market type of things in there, you know, with all the different kiosks.
Brewery, a place where people can make pottery and sell stuff. That building's beautiful. Right on the trail too.
Yeah. So
you have an outdoor cafe.
Nice spot. We'll see what happens with that. Yeah, that was another one. They were there for a long time too, and then, you know, times are changing, I guess.
Well, people like
IKEA
furniture. You know, people like the quick changes, and you know, furniture is rapidly becoming this thing that's not a thing for families anymore. You know, it's a disposable society. You know, nobody wants to spend $5,000 on a couch that'll last 20 years. They want to spend, you know, $800 on a couch that they can replace in 5 years because they can.
When they paint their house again.
Yeah. And that's Furniture Barn was selling quality stuff that lasted.
Yeah.
You know, my mother's an interior designer.
Pass down to your kids, like, oh, I bought this couch here. Take this now and put it in.
Now kids don't want it, and where are they going to put it? Their houses are a quarter of the size.
Yeah.
My mom being an interior designer. I mean, I remember going to Furniture Barn when I was a kid, and she would pick stuff out for her clients. That was one of the spots that she used to buy from. And now she says the same thing. There's like people just want to, you know.
That's not in the budget.
You know, the only time it's in the budget is when you're dealing with higher end buyers, people that are down in Greenwich that, will pay for that type of furniture. But it's,
How we
here.
got on the furniture topic.
I think
It happens.
so Pete, this is how our shows go.
West Main. Welcome to West Main. The Furniture Bar building is one of our favorites.
I love it. That was great. Well, we'll circle with that one. Now we're talking.
I'm trying
design.
3 times already to hit on any of the small business stuff that's being given by the government. Have you been able to partake or have any need to partake? Has it been useful to you?
Yeah, I applied for the payroll protection
The
PPP.
How did that go?
Yeah, it went actually pretty well. I didn't ask for that much, and I just put it to the side in case I need it, depending on how things go from here. But
So you were able to apply at a bank.
Yeah.
You were able to get in while it was still funded, and you were able to get an amount that just rainy day amount. And if you keep the people on your payroll, that becomes a grant.
yes,
Awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. Good. That's all good news.
Both my accountant and my financial advisor both called me like the day that they announced it. I was like, "You need to do this. Just
Mhm.
you need to do this and just
Because
that,
you don't know how long this is going to go on.
No.
use it as a backup. You don't need to spend it, but just have it for a rainy day kind of thing." And I was just surprised, hearing all the stories now about how a lot of people aren't getting it, and this and that, and how
Shake Shack is giving back $10 million that they took
Yeah.
out,
yeah,
and they're thinking about refunding it, but we'll see what happens.
yeah. So I was able.
Good. I'm glad you were able to do that.
And it was really quick. And I think a lot of it might have to do with like the bank that you're involved with too, because
Sure.
I heard Webster Bank, like in the first 2 days, they were done with like the amount that they got. Like
They were doing what, 10,000 applications an hour?
yeah.
Some of the numbers I heard.
I was with TD Bank, and maybe they just don't have as many small businesses, in their.
Yeah, but you're the type of small business that
It was exactly meant for.
that everything was meant for. I mean, it wasn't meant for Ruth Chris Steakhouse, who took 20 million. We won't get
It had to be worded better. Had to be worded better.
But like I was thinking about it the other day. My wife and I were watching a program on TV, and I remember one of the characters was walking through his local town, which is based on New York, early New York, 1940s New York. And it's like Pete's ice cream shop and Joe's Joe's Pizza and whatever else. It's there's no big names. And I'm looking, and I'm like, that's what I think I would miss the most, or would enjoy. What I would enjoy the most in that era is the mom and pop sustainability that existed, and
before the chain store franchises.
Yeah, and I think that's where we need to look at really supporting people. Now, I get that, the people who own the Walmarts and the Home Depots and stuff. I mean, they have families too and everything else. But I think that if their salaries got cut, unless they're really bad at managing their money, their CEOs are going to do okay.
Yeah.
But
Bezos made $24 billion since the virus hit. Bezos, one person, made $24 billion.
When you've got the mom and pop stores like Pop's Pizza, it's you and your wife, and the employees that you're supporting, whether they be high school kids or maybe you have guys on payroll that's their career. Those are the businesses that need these loans that are going to survive off these loans, because without it, if we go into a complete shutdown, what are you going to do? Home Depot's going to be fine. What's Pop's Pizza going to do?
Yeah, that's the place next to me, Cheshire Place. I mean, they closed down 2 days after this whole thing started, and and I had talked to him on the phone briefly like a week later, and he was, tell the owner I can't pay the rent, and I'm looking to get some loans, and it's just like, I feel really bad for them, because they were just starting out, and they were doing pretty well too. They were doing much better than any other place that I've been in there, and I just don't see how they can survive it. Not being open for months and months. It's just, I don't know.
It's a
So
terrible.
those are the
I
kind
don't know
of
how,
that you worry about, that
and
how
it's the
come
the
back.
small businesses in a community are also being supported by the families in a community. So if the families are doing okay and they're able to eat out at pizza and spread local money, that will keep the businesses afloat. But once the families start waiting online for food distribution and their salaries are cut and they can't fathom spending an extra $20 to keep a business, that's where the government really stepped in, I think.
Yeah.
For the small businesses that just don't have the people around them that are working that can go and spend that extra money. So it was a good safety net.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, only time will tell with all this. So,
That's right.
you know.
That's right. Here we sit in our basements. Well, I'm in my
Yeah.
basement.
I mean, we enjoy having Trish and I love having this show as a way to just get out of our heads. But it's way better to do this when we're all looking at each other,
Oh yeah.
all in the same room. Like,
It's a lot funnier.
it's very hard to
We
do.
we laugh a lot more.
Yes, it's very hard to do these things because you can't. I can't signal Trisha that I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
So we step on each other. It's whatever else. But
Yeah.
I, for one, appreciate that you have now been a part of the Cheshire cast, and that you have spent the last hour with us. Is there anything that you would like to say to Cheshire at all?
Cheshire itself. Well, first of all, I have to make amends for something that on Saturday I did a video, and I got really nervous when I was doing it, and I left a few things out, and I forgot to thank my wife for
Boy.
all of the years, the 30 years that'll be this year.
You're such a smart husband. Look at you.
Being by my side and helping me out through everything, and living her own life, but also helping me with mine. And I just wanted to thank her for that and apologize on the Cheshire podcast for my lack of time on the video the other day. So
how long you been married?
30 years in November. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So,
well, now you'll make it to 31. See?
Yeah.
Smart.
31 on your way to 40. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was, and just to the Cheshire community, just thank you. I mean, there's not really that much more I can say. It's just thank you. We work hard, and I hope you can see that we work hard, and hope you can see it in our product and how we project ourselves. So that's it. I do have a funny story though that I wanted to tell you guys.
Please.
I don't know. Did you in your forum had a little bit about it too? Did you hear the day that when I lost my wallet?
I did, and I was gonna ask you about it, so I'm glad you brought it up.
Oh my God, this is one of the best stories ever. So I leave the house. I have this big pile of stuff, and I throw it in the back of my car. And so when I throw it in the back of my car, the phone falls on the ground. So I reach over and pick up my phone. Well, apparently I didn't see that my wallet had fallen out also. So the wallet fell out and was on the running board of my truck. So I left to go to the gym, and I turned out of Cook Hill Road, and I was going down Route 10. Apparently, make a long story short, my wallet falls off of the truck, and whatever happens, cars hit it. I had a bunch of money in it because I had some things that I had to go get, and the money starts flying everywhere. So there's all hundreds, 50s, 20s just flying all over the street. So one gentleman pulls up, and he grabs a few things. And at the same time, this other lady pulled up, and she was grabbing, and when we get to the end, she kept saying it was like Christmas. She goes, money flying everywhere. So fast forward, long story short, the gentleman calls me and says, "Are you Pete Debisschop?" Yeah, he goes, "I just found your credit cards and a whole bunch of money flying all over Route 10. I'm going to bring it back to you." So he brings me back 3 of my credit cards and all this money. I'm like, "Thank you so much." So I'm still sick to my stomach. I don't have all my other stuff. The whole day goes on. knock at the door. Later that night, my wife answers the door. It's the lady who found the rest of my stuff. She brought back my wallet. She brought back all the money. She brought back everything, driver's license, everything. So
God.
when you look out at the world and you think like, oh man, there's, it's a rough place. There was two like precious people that day that really saved me a lot of heartache. And I'd like to say thank you if they're ever listening to this. Well, Carly, what was Carly, right? Yep. Carly was one of the ladies.
It was on Oak Avenue.
Yeah, and the other gentleman I was in a frenzy at work at the time, and he just kind of gave me the stuff and walked away, and I never really got his name. So if he's watching, thank you to him too. But over the whole thing, the funniest line though was when she came and she said, "It was like Christmas. There was money."
I could see it like a money wind tunnel.
Everywhere.
Just like, grabbing it and shoving it in her shirt.
No, so there's still a lot of really good people out there, and even in
it's good when good things happen to good people.
Amen. I mean, but see, I'm a firm believer in karma, Pete, and I think that if you put bad vibes out into the world, then you would have gotten those bad vibes back, and the people who wouldn't return that money would have found it.
Yeah.
But because you're a positive person and you're a good person, a good man, and you give so much back to your community gave back to you without even knowing it was you.
Well, thank God.
That's karma, man. And that's how karma works, brother.
Our pizza show discussed furniture and karma. You see how we make it's all a circle.
A whole circle going on here.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I thank you so much for joining us. I thank you so much for sharing some stories and talking with us about your restaurant. I hope that we can have you, once the studio is back open and we're not physical distancing, we can have you back in again.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'd love to come back.
That would be great.
Who knows what we could talk about.
Well, it sounds.
We'll always have something to talk about.
It sounds like you're not too far from where I am. If you're off Cook Hill Road, I'm right off Route 10, right by Cheshire Nursery. So,
yeah,
we're kind of neighbors.
Yeah, right across.
I'm on South Brooksville. Doesn't South Brooksville turn into Cook Hill Road when you cross over 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're all down here in the South End.
We're on the South End. Yeah.
Oh, Norton. Yeah, you had said that. Yeah.
So it would be great to have you back in again. I hope you enjoyed
the studio's up and running.
Well, the studio's up and running. I just can't have anybody
publicly.
Here. This room.
And we just hooked it up so much before the shutdown. We got it all.
This room is a mess right now.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Like
I don't want to know about any clutter.
Because
from what I can see right now, it's perfectly clean. I see nothing. I just see a microphone, and you don't do it. Corey! What kind of side? That's my side.
Well, your side is just full. It's just a mess in here. It's a mess. But hey, look,
hope this goes on a little bit longer.
I did get you a new chair. See your chair? I got.
Ooh, that looks nice.
Yeah.
Does it squeak when I move like yours does?
Yes, because it's actually my old one. Because I got a new one for myself.
Oh! Has the built-in squeak? I have to not move while we talk. I'm a New Yorker. I constantly move my hands.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But I do have two 50-inch TVs in here now. So
I saw there's a lot of electronics in there.
Looks
like my kids' rooms.
Yeah, it's
spoiled. You guys are spoiled.
Well,
Pete, it was awesome meeting you. Thank you. Continued good luck through this.
Thank you very much.
Once in a lifetime pandemic.
Yeah.
Good luck through it. Thank you for keeping our kids fed with delicious pizza, because it keeps their spirits up and provides some sense of normalcy through these odd times.
Very good.
And I look forward to meeting you in person and picking up a pie.
There you go.
Yeah, and keep it up with those cauliflower crust pizzas. I'm a big fan.
All right, I got you. I'll take care of
And
you.
don't worry if you hear it's for Corey, just leave one of them uncut. It's fine.
Okay.
He'll just roll it up and eat it like an egg roll.
I will. It'll be fine.
Why bother with the slices?
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Do you have sriracha sauce there?
No.
Because I always put that on my pizza. It'd be great if it was already there.
That's one of those things that put a little bit of hot sauce on it. Like, well, what's a little bit? Like
What is it? A little bit to you might be,
you got to put your own on for that. That's your own deal right there. You don't put too much, too little.
I bet that's good on pizza.
This is the greatest thing I ever found is powdered red hot.
Okay.
It's like salt.
It's like salt. It's totally like salt. And I actually put it
Red
on
pepper
popcorn.
salt.
Oh my God.
I put it on my popcorn and I put it on pizza, and it's the greatest thing ever.
Wow. That's interesting. I've never seen
I've
that.
never seen it.
I didn't either. I found it at Costco, and I said
I could put that on wings. I could put that on wings.
Everything at Costco.
you could put this on anything, Trisha.
Except toilet paper.
I want to put that on wings right now. Right this very minute.
Do you want me to leave it on?
My mouth is salivating. No, I have Virgil in my oven as we speak.
All right.
See, I knew we were going to be talking about food. I knew it.
So we're gonna say
My mouth is salivating.
what gave it away that we were having Pete Debisschop from
Pizza.
Pop's Pizza.
Yeah. Pizza's one of our topics that we could go on with for hours.
It is.
It is.
Well, hopefully you had fun, Pete.
Yeah, it was great. It really was a lot of fun. Really appreciate it. Appreciate the airtime. Appreciate everything. And you guys stay safe. And maybe we'll see you soon.
Definitely see you soon.
Okay.
Trisha,
Yes.
you ready to say goodbye?
Yes, I am.
All right, so you know how this goes, right? So we say hey, thanks for listening to us. Thanks for tuning in.
Like and share.
Like and share. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on all your favorite podcast apps. You can find us on Stitcher, iTunes,
iHeartRadio,
Podbean, all of them. So just search for the Cheshire Podcast or Cheshire Cast. We should come up.
We're all over Facebook too.
We're everywhere. And give us 5 stars because that helps us. And
because we deserve it.
Yes, we do deserve it. I think you're right.
We
and
do.
we've got lots of great stuff happening, lots of great stuff to come. So we'll see you next time. And remember, always bet on black. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.